run, two, come, let's go. I said 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 run, two, come, let's go.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. Appreciate everybody coming back. Today, I want to talk about something with this new administration change. Y'all gonna see a plethora. Y'all gonna see a lot of laws. I'm jumping straight in today. Y'all gonna see a lot of laws and a lot of things that are gonna change from what they were, from what the other administration did, to some new agenda stuff. Y'all gonna see some new agenda stuff. Y'all gonna see some things that are moving the agenda forward. I did not say if the agenda was good. I did not say if the agenda was bad. I'm just saying the agenda. The Democratic agenda, because that's who's in power. It's not being favored from one or another. It's just who's in power. So as of right now, with the Democrats in power, there are going to be some changes. And here's one of them. You're going to have infighting amongst the Democrats and the Republicans, okay? You're going to have bipartisan things happening where both of them are going to agree unanimously to pass bills, things of that nature. And then you're going to have, I don't want to call them slick, but you're going to have some legislation that's passed that's kind of below the belly. Now, I hate to say this, but the infighting that are going on between the two definitely affects us because it's like we're chess pieces. What is chess? If you don't play chess, you need to find out. Climb out from under that rock you are under and go play some chess or learn about chess. In chess, you have different pieces that do different moves. You have pawns that basically move forward and they can attack in an angle. Okay, they move one square at a time. You have knights that can go to different squares, different combinations, two up, one to the left, to the right, either way. You have rooks that can stay on the squares, straight forward, left, backwards, and forward. You got the queen. Ironically, you have the queen that has the best moves on the board because pretty much she can move almost any direction. So she's always on the attack. So basically, the queen is versatile. The queen has the brains. And on the chessboard, the queen protects the king. That's in chess. But in our reality, the king protects the queen. Who created chess? Let's keep it moving. Now, I want to talk about something that they're doing in the state of Kentucky. And that state neighbors me, so, it was definitely news on my radar. Because anything they usually do across the water, it slides over here. Okay? So before it slithers its way across the bridge, let's get into it. Now, the article is from the Atlanta Black Star, and it's March 9th, 2021, which was, a few days ago, a couple days ago, actually, by Niera Savage. Now, the article is titled, Kentucky Lawmakers Advance a Bill that could make it a crime to insult the police. It didn't say hit. It didn't say punch. It didn't say throw a rock at. It said insult, which means a word could be an insult. A gesture could be an insult. A point could be an insult. That could be an insult. They pretty much could write in what an insult is. The officer could say he felt insulted because he looked at him in an intimidating manner. It was an insult. So let's get into this. This is not me talking. It's the article, so do not get mad at me. A Kentucky State Senate committee passed a bill last week that could make it a crime to insult or taunt a police officer in any way that might provoke a violent response. Now, taunt. You could do this, and that could be a taunt. You could do this, that could be a taunt. You could do this, and that could be a taunt. They could say this actually caused or provoked a violent response, and therefore you're held accountable for inciting a riot. That's one charge that they could escalate it to, but let's get into what they're actually talking about. It says supporters of the bill. I wonder who the supporters are. I want you to try to figure out who these supporters are. Supporters of the bill claim it's aimed at punishing those who cross the line unlawfully, while critics say the legislation will violate protesters' First Amendment right. So if you can't protest the way you would like, that's technically violating your right. You might protest doing this, but they could feel that that's a taunt. You see what I'm saying? It's trying to chisel. It's trying to chisel some of your freedoms away. The right to do this, the right to hold a certain sign, the right to do this. It's chiseling away at it. Little by little by little by little. So you got to be careful. Now, it says under Senate Bill 211, a person who accosts, insults, taunts, or challenges a law enforcement officer with offensive or defensive. Listen. Did you hear this? Listen. With offensive toward the officer or defensive language. Get off of me. That's defensive language. Please don't hurt me no more. The officer could feel insulted. You're saying something defensive. You're a pig. I don't feel that way. I'm just using it as an example. You're a pig. That can be defensive for you and offensive to them. So you're going to get charged double. The point is, or gestures or other physical contact that would have a direct tendency to provoke a violent response from the perspective of a reasonable and prudent person. Now, reasonable and prudent person. So individuals charged with mental illness, that's not a prudent person. That's a irrational, unstable, chemically imbalanced individual. So technically they couldn't charge them. Technically, according to what this says. But any individual that doesn't have a mental unstable status could be charged. Now it said gestures. Any physical contact. So if you point, if you brush up against, if you nudge, if you just standing there and a police officer hit you and you do this and it's a nudge, that's defensive because you don't know what it is, or offensive. Okay? You will be guilty. It didn't say you could fight it in court. It said you would be guilty. It didn't say you have a chance to argue, are you guilty or not? It says you would be guilty, that's what the words say, of second degree disorderly conduct and could spend up to 90 days in jail. Now, let me explain something to you. In behavior modification, that's what I do. I'm a specialist. Listen. Whenever you training somebody or changing somebody's behavior, you use the least restrictive measure. Basically, you find out what you can do at the least to be effective. Do you give a verbal prompt? Hey man, don't do that. Do you give a physical prompt? Do you give both? Hey man, hey! Don't do that. But you see how it's more aggressive? So out of those three, the least restrictive would be probably the physical prompt. In this case, they chose the middle. Okay? Because it says you will be guilty of second-degree disorderly conduct. Why not first degree? Because first degree is the highest. That's the most extreme. Third degree is, that's the lowest. Second degree is in the middle. So basically what they're doing is they're trying to shape your behavior. They're going to ting you just enough to make you not want to go against what these officers are saying, or for you to actually be offensive or defensive toward these officers. So what it's doing is shaping your behavior to be pacified, to not challenge police. Or you could get up to 90 days in jail. Now, you have to understand in behavior modification, when you're shaping behavior, you start off light. Then you make the task harder. Then you make the task harder. Then you make it to a point where they have to perform it or they fail. So their mind, they want to complete the whole task and get their positive reinforcement, which could be whatever. In this case, your positive reinforcement is your freedom. If you follow what they're telling you to do, you won't go to jail. You can live normal. If you go against what they tell you to do, you getting that slap. Pop! You getting that slap. You going to get your back. You going to get that positive punishment, which is 90 days in jail. They giving you 90 days in jail. They giving you something. You see what I'm saying? And I'm quite sure, I'm going to keep it 100. They ain't said quite yet. Let me read a little bit further. Up there it is. I knew it was on here. I knew it. They're going to get some of that money from you. Because see, the way the system works, it positively punishes you and it negatively punishes you at the same time. So they're giving you positive punishment. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? 90 days in jail. Or technically they doing negative punishment, taking away your freedom, however you want to look at it. You know, because they giving you time in jail. And this says, I knew this was coming. They're going to hurt them pockets. A person convicted of a Class B misdemeanor could also face a $250 fine. They're going to hit them pockets. They need that money. They're going to get that money. And now listen. Listen. I want you to listen to me right now. This is where it gets fishy and this is where it gets interesting. Listen to the last part of it. And you will be, not maybe, you will be disqualified from receiving public benefits for a 3-month period. Ain't that about a blip? Ain't that about a blip? You will be disqualified from receiving public benefits for a 3-month period. Who usually receives public benefits? Now, contrary to popular belief, it's technically more Caucasian individuals using the welfare system versus African Americans as well as others. So let's get that point straight. Do your own research on that. But when it comes to redlining or targeting a specific type of group, who usually on public benefits? The poor. I don't care what color you are. I'm not prejudiced. I love all people that love me, positive energy. But check it out. The individuals that this will relate to is the poor. Or the people below the poverty line who actually focuses on public assistance. So, let me tell you, let me kind of fill you in a little bit. They saw whoever assisted with this bill saw a change in the people below the poverty line. You know what they saw? They got out and voted. They got out and voted. They got out and protested. They protested against the status quo, whatever that is. Now, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. Again, they're infighting for their personal agendas, for their mindset of how our society should run after they've taken it over. Okay? So what this is saying is, if you receive public benefits, and if we gonna slap you on the wrist for 3 months. We gonna sting you, but we gonna give it back though. We gonna sting you, but we gonna give it back. The reason why we gonna give it back, because we want you to know what it feel like when we take it from you again. We want you to know we want that threat on your head. If they just take it, they forcing you to become independent. They forcing you to not rely on the system. They forcing you to go out and be a beast, start a business, get a trade, and get your own. And then you don't need the system. That ain't what we trying to do. That ain't what they trying to do, rather. Let's get it right. What they want to do is suppress the behavior and shape you into a new behavior. They want to suppress you going out and protesting the way you are. And you're epsilon, so you need to get back in your place and receive these benefits. If you're going to receive something from us that we giving you, you're going to act like how we want you to act. That's basically what this is. Now, it says the American Civil Liberties Union said in a statement on Twitter that the bill will be used to stifle dissent. Now, the ACLU in Kentucky, I'm going to just read a tweet that they put up. It says it's hashtag SB 212 is an extreme bill to stifle dissent. It's so extreme, it will make it a crime to say insulting or offensive things to law enforcement. ACLU Kentucky Legal Director Corey Shapiro told at Courier Journal, the lawmakers trying to criminalize speech is itself offensive. So they taking the nice road when they talk about this. And that was by Joe Sonka. Senate committee advances riot bill making it a crime to insult, provoke police officer, Courier Journal says in the story. So that was March the 4th, 2021. That was a tweet. But basically, it's simple if you pay attention to what they doing. If you listen to what I'm telling you. They're chiseling away. They're shaping your behavior. They're little by little shaping you to how they want you to act. I'm not going to go protest because I don't want my benefits taken. Hey, bro, I heard they out there taking pictures of people that's protesting and they going to send them to your caseworker, bro. You know what I'm saying? What about the felons getting food stamps? Hey, bro, your PO outside. I heard if you go outside and you out there protesting, they take your picture, they send it to your PO, they violate you, homie. That's where this could go. That's where this could go. I'm going to just leave it like that. That's where this could go. Now, it says the provision is only a part of a larger bill aimed at increasing penalties for riot-related crimes. So basically, it's safe to say that this is the test ground. This is the test dummy. This is the test dummy to see how this is going to be regulated. And the main thing you have to understand is this, y'all. The demographics of Kentucky, like what's the ratio white and black? It's mainly Caucasians. They could put it in some black people areas that got black people like Lexington, Louisville. You know what I'm saying? They could put it in those places to test the demographics, the scientists and all that. That's what they're doing. These are trials, trust me, to test how this works. But they're also going to have it in the rural places, which people in the rural, way out in the country, they kind of do what they want to do. They don't be bothered. You know, they usually got their doomsday stuff already. They good. 100 acres or more, they straight. And they know they laying backward and forward. But the people in the residential areas, the Caucasians, everyday workers, they're going to have it there as well. You know, Newport, Covington, Alexandria, other places in Kentucky too. You know, Louisville, that's kind of small, but you know what I'm saying. But they're going to test this in different areas to see how it works. And the courts are also going to test to see the conviction. So they're going to test to see how the convictions go. They're going to see how much lawyer. I mean, think about lawyer fees. If people get lawyers, lawyer rates. Listen, this is how it all works. The lawyer's going to make more money off of this because they're going to be in court for that. You might see an uptick in protests. People on the other side that's against this create the protests to make this stuff happen as a money ploy to keep you in the courts. Now, it also talks about a provision. The bill also contains a provision requiring governments to maintain and improve their respective financial support for law enforcement agencies amid calls for defunding the police. So basically, they're going to no more of that defund the police talk. So once again, they're stopping you from saying certain things, which they're changing your behavior. The bill passed out of the Senate's Veterans, Military Affairs, and Public Protection Committee on Thursday by a vote of 7-3. Now, for those that even might think I'm a Trump supporter or Republican, guess what? This is going to prove why I'm not Democrat or Republican. Right here, Thursday, it was a vote of 7-3. And only Republicans supported the bill. Trump is a Republican or supports the Republican Party. He has his own agendas in there as well. But if Republicans voted 7-3 for this bill, that means they don't want you to exercise your freedom of speech or your freedom of expression or your right to protest. That's Kentucky Republicans. 7-3. Think about that. So, it don't matter if you Democrat or Republican, in my eyes, it's only in my eyes. How does this affect me? It affects me, my right to protest if I want to go protest something in Kentucky. Only Republicans supported the bill. The bill could be passed in the Senate this week. And when then moved to the House, both chambers are under Republican control. If you was under a rock, you didn't know that. State Senator David Carroll, who is sponsoring the bill, told the Louisville Courier-Journal that the bill is a response to protests that broke out across the country last year, which it is. Louisville in particular was the site of a large number of demonstrations in the months following Breonna Taylor's death last March on the hands of Louisville police. Now, in the behavior world, that's called an antecedent. An antecedent is the cause or the reason for something or a behavior to happen. What they're saying is the death of Breonna Taylor sparked people to wake up. See, that sparked the fire. What this legislation is trying to do is quickly put the fire out before it's able to do what it did last year. The fire ignited, that energy combusted. It combusted, that energy went out to other people. That energy consistently kept going like an atomic bomb, and the energy went across the world. Remember I told you they energy harvesting you? This is the thing. They want to contain your energy. They want to contain your energy, according to Skinner. I didn't say it. Skinner said that. Okay? If you could contain the energy of an animal, if you could contain the energy of something, you could contain the behavior. Skinner used mice. Skinner used rats. Skinner used pigeons to do trials. Maslow used a dog. Pavlov, rather. With the slob and him ringing the bell and eating the food. You know what I'm saying? What controls humans the most? Health, money, and fear. Health, money, and fear. If it's something that's going to harm your health, you going to move. If something going to cost you some money or they taking some money away from you, they going to move. Jail don't really scare people too much because everybody doing crime know they going to jail if they get caught, but they still do crime. So I can't say jail controls people, but fear does. Fear of jail controls you to not do crime. Fear of loss, fear of losing your freedom controls you personally of why you wouldn't perform a behavior. Well, with this legislation, they trying to provoke fear into you to stop you from activating your right to protest and expressing yourself the way that you see fit. So it's a control mechanism for an agenda. And who did it say on here? It said the Republicans. I didn't say it. The article said it. The article said the law passed 7-3. No Democrats. All Republicans. See? That's why you got to be careful who you support. Because in politics, everybody's a liar. Well, I can't say everybody. I'm saying 99.9%. Because it's about lobbyists, which is the bread. It's about agenda. And it's about team. Who team you on? How you voting this week? Who you voting with and why? Hey, y'all. It's Monopoly mixed with chess, mixed with Candyland, which is we all living in Fantasyland, Candyland, mixed with sorry. Sorry. The people at the top always win. So, that being said, it says this country was built on lawful protest and it's something that we must maintain. Our citizens' right to do so. With this deals with or the most cross-line and most committed to criminal acts process that they've ever seen. So basically what they're saying is this crossed the line. This bill actually crosses the line to being criminal, like it's blatantly taking your rights away. The amended bill 2011 no longer contains previous controversial language, making it a crime to camp overnight on non-campground state property after critics said the provision criminalized the homeless. See? They had it in there that it's a crime to camp overnight on state property. You can't, it's state property. How is this, who pays for state property? We do. So you can't even sleep or lay on something you paying for. This is getting ridiculous. I'm not saying revolt. I'm not saying do nothing crazy like that. But what I'm saying, come on, we got to do something. We have to at least come together to discuss these things, to get these things to change in our favor. Because it's just getting more stringent and stringent every day. So to sum this up, at the end of the day, if you in Kentucky, you're basically a testing ground for these new laws. It's going to make it illegal to protest. It's going to make it a crime to express yourself offensively or defensively. And states that are neighboring it or states that are a commonwealth, because Kentucky is a commonwealth. Any other state that's a commonwealth, it's probably coming to you as well. So you're going to probably be a testing ground too. So if y'all in those states, beware. That being said, I appreciate y'all's time and attention. Continue to watch. We're getting a lot of love, so we definitely appreciate it. And till next time, these.
Run to, come, let's go. I said, run.